Guys, I'm so excited for this one. We got Haden Levine in the building. Welcome, Haden.
How's it going? Happy to be here.
Yeah, bro. It's good seeing you virtually now. I know we met in person just recently here in Madrid. Haden, for those listening, he has a very similar background to me. He's in consulting right now. He's in one of the big four consulting firms. He's also working in something a little bit more different than a lot of my previous guests who are in online business. Haden's working on a telecommunications business called Modcom. So it's a lot of like the structure of cabling solutions, access control, Wi-Fi cameras, security. He's really in it. So Haden, love to have you and love to talk about both business and like the 9-to-5 lifestyle that we both know so well.
Yeah, no, happy to be here again. Thank you. So I guess I'll tell, I randomly saw Mateo's Instagram. I don't know how your followers or listeners here found you, but I found you through Brian Lubin, who's a huge person in this space who I think a lot of us know and admire and want to be in Action Academy. But yeah, I pretty much just started following you. I saw you live in Spain. Big props. That's a goal of mine. And I just kind of hit you up. I was going into Spain for vacation with my girlfriend, and I was like, you know what? Let's try to meet up with Mateo. It's like a guy I follow online, learn more about, and now I'm excited to do this podcast with you. So, yeah.
Brother. And that's what it's all about. I mean, you know about pulling the trigger at opportunities, and I'm glad you hit me up. I'm glad we spoke. We met up multiple times. We even actually, Madrid is a city, but it also feels kind of small because we just ran into each other in the metro too.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah, no, I love Spain. I don't know how many of you guys want to move to Spain, but I'm in that bucket. So yeah, that's an ultimate goal of mine. But I guess if it makes sense to start, give more background around myself. I grew up in New York, Long Island. So by the beach, by the city, it was cool. I wanted to see a different part of the country for school, so I went all the way down to South Carolina, University of South Carolina, which is growing in popularity. And then I met some Spanish guys along the way who, turned me on to learning Spanish, and I'm a huge Real Madrid fan. I love Spain, as I said. And so that's kind of where that comes from, and what brought me to Miami ultimately to start my career. So I had a gap year in between college and the career, which I thought was important. I don't know if you've had similar times in your life that you took off to kind of decide what you want to do next, but that was huge for me.
Yeah. So I don't know if you felt the same way in New York. In DC is kind of like a echo chamber, little bubbles you can join, mm-hmm. And it's a lot of your decisions are made for you environmentally. Is that something that kind of led you to getting a gap year?
Yes, or I was kind of breaking out of those predefined bubbles. So, yeah. Just to get personal off the bat, I had a 5-year girlfriend that I felt like I was kind of stuck in that relationship. It was stalling,
Well, she's kind of young, no? 5 years?
Yeah. We did it from 16 to 20, 16 to 21. First girlfriend, yeah. So we were in that for so long, and that was at a standstill. I had been studying accounting and finance. I'm a double major. I was. And that was because someone put that in my ear, this is what you should do, not me thinking this is what I want to do. And then ultimately how I ended up in my current firm in the Big Four and my current practice is through someone that nudged me. And I never took the time to kind of stop and pick my head up from doing all this work day to day, pick my head up in college and be like, wait a minute, am I really where I want to be? Do I want to be with my girlfriend anymore? Do I want to be going towards this career trajectory? And in this city where I did an internship actually in Atlanta, and I did not like Atlanta the summer after college. So I think it was really important to pick your head up and be like, wait, am I doing what I want to do? Or, who's nudging me subconsciously and consciously to do the things that I'm doing day to day? And once you realize that, that's when you can really get towards this life by design,
Yeah.
So that was huge.
And so okay, so let's go through that progression, because I want to see if the telecommunications, brick and mortar business, if that's what you want your life to be designed towards. But before we get there, talk to me more about that student to employee progression, that you gap year and everything that came into that.
Yeah, so personally, again, I'm just like share the personal experience and hope some of you can relate to it or take bits and pieces of my experience. But I did undergrad, graduated, went to Atlanta for a summer internship with the Big Four, and realized I didn't love Atlanta. I was supposed to go back to South Carolina to do an additional year, a master's in accounting. So I did that for 3 days and then dropped out and realized, like, you know what, none of this is for me, man. Like, I picked my head up and I was just like, I don't want to do another year of accounting. That's tell my firm. They said, okay, you can't start any sooner though. So have a good year. See you in 2024. So I took the time off and just like worked a little bit, saved up some money. I traveled around Europe for 3 months. I backpacked a few summers ago and just took time off, honestly. Like, I had the privilege of falling back on my parents, truthfully. I stayed at home and then got a job. And I think just as I realized, like, okay, what do I want? What do I not want? I want control in like something that I'm building. So that's where the ModCom, my telecommunications business, comes in. I bought a third stake in my colleague's telecommunications business, and I am like an owner operator. It's not like a passive investment. A lot of people on the internet talk about passive investing, but like that doesn't exist until you're a multimillionaire, honestly. So you need to work. There's no substitution for hard work, and that's what I'm trying to build with ModCom. Is, you know, a place where I have equity in my effort. Like at PwC, I'll just name my firm, I will get paid the same. The bonus structure is very flat. You know, if I'm not doing anything, I'll get paid the same. If I'm getting overworked, I'll get paid the same. With ModCom, it's a direct, you know, correlation to what you get in, or what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I realized, you know, I don't want to be a student. I don't want to be an employee. I want to be an owner, operator.
Yeah. No, that incentive structure is huge for a lot of people like us. And just like to borrow a term from like sports, it's like once you realize you have a salary cap, that can be pretty frustrating and also debilitating, because no matter what you do, you know, you're going to get paid in 2 weeks. And it's those golden handcuffs, you know, like kind of stifles your creativity. But like you were telling me here in Madrid, we were talking, we were both like very grateful for having a salary, right? Like being salaried gives you so much like psychological relief and security. So what's your plan? Are you trying to hold on to your salary until ModCom breaks a certain threshold? Do you want to start something else? You want to leave it completely? Like, what's your plan?
No, I'd say stay at PwC and work on ModCom when I can until it can replace maybe not all, but a significant part of what I'm getting paid at PwC. And yeah, to your point and what we were talking about, like the salary is so relieving, like knowing I'm going to get paid a certain amount every 2 weeks, guaranteed. Actually, my friend just sent me a Cody Sanchez reel about, she like did some study or was reading something that you're way more likely to succeed at a side business, at a passion project, if you stay with the day job for as long as you can, because it does provide such a sense of relief. Okay, I have a base, you know, X amount of dollars coming in every month. So to compare it to my partner at ModCom, who does this full time, he definitely struggles sometimes as we're in like the beginning years of building something out. And, you know, it's tough. Like, it's like oxygen. I think, I forget where I heard that, but it's like money's like oxygen. You don't think about it until you need it. Like until you're underwater and need to get up for some fresh air, all you can think about is, when am I getting my next breath? Same thing with money. Same thing with like an entrepreneur who, at ModCom, we're 2 years old, so we're still trying to, you know, make a sustainable living off of it. So it's an exciting time though.
No, absolutely. That's a really good visual aid there, the oxygen, because I mean, a lot of the internet guys, they don't like what you just said, but I believe it. I've lived it too. And I tell people all the time, like, if you can hold on to it while you build something else, you have the best of both worlds. And burning the boats can be done psychologically. It doesn't have to be like done like financially. You don't have to force it into your situation unless you really need to. Right?
We agree, especially, and I think that's what I've done. I've done a good job at psychologically breaking it. So there were times, obviously, the last year that I'm being worked very hard and I'm ready to just throw in the towel. But then there's other times where I just have to remember, like, okay, it's not going to be like this forever. I'm actively doing things on the side while still getting a paycheck. And you can separately, like I came to Spain for 2 weeks to see Spain and meet you, which was great. 2 weeks, like paid time off. That's, people I don't think realize how uncommon that is. And I was able to completely unplug, thankfully. So.
And also you were telling me that like this is your first year. That's almost unheard of in a Big Four first year guy taking 2 weeks off. Like, tell me about the maybe some of like the cultural hits or the cultural like faux pas that you're facing right now trying to juggle both of these things.
Yeah, no. So thankfully I live in Miami, not New York, where I'm originally from. Miami, the office and just the overall vibe in the city is a lot more relaxed than New York. It's not as cutthroat. You were in DC, kind of another cutthroat city. Miami's kind of relaxed. So at PwC in Miami, at least, we have a pretty good experience. There's some tough weeks, yes. It's part of the job. I'm in M&A, so, it's just the nature of everything. And I just have to say, though, I'm learning a lot. Like, you work with smart people, and I'm applying what I see at the biggest level at PwC with 75,000 people in the US alone. I'm applying it to 5-person ModCom on the side. Like, okay, it just is a great experience to get both the biggest company, one of the biggest, and one of the smallest. We've been able to hire 2 full-time people, but it used to just be 3 partners. So
nice.
Just great experience seeing how the best does it and the biggest, and then applying it to whatever you're doing. That's why, I would suggest a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in corporate. You can really learn a lot, and like I'm sure you can speak to that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's some of these skills that you don't know you need until you're in the real world, right? Like you're working for a business or a company that already has found product market fit, they already have clients. Like it's a blessing to be just plugged into someone who already has hit the road running, right? So like, for instance, when I got my offer, it was a boutique firm. So it was a management consultant firm, but it was much smaller than the Big Four. And one of the reasons why I accepted their offer is because they were offering me like, hey, we'll train you and pay for your Scrum Master certification. You are going to be leading people, managing people immediately. Now that's something that most first year like consultants don't really get a chance to do in their first year. So I was like, bro, I know I could be technical. I was good at math, but like leading people, I know that's my forte. I can manage people. And if I get a fast track to the PMP, your project management professional, like that was the road I was going towards. And these people are offering to me. Now take that type of opportunity and try to like get there by yourself, right? That's going to take you so much longer. And just be blessed for what you have. I love Iman Ghazi. I love all these people. I met some of these people in person. Like they're great. These online people are awesome. Luke Belmar. But I think it's really shallow and incomplete to shit on wages, right? Like I think it's just an incomplete picture.
Right? Like I get a laugh at it, obviously. There's that take clip of he's like, somebody's got to flip the burgers, dumbass. Like, it's just entertaining. I'm a wagey still, and I live a good life. Like I have benefits, I go on trips. I live in Miami. So you got to be thankful, glass half full, and just, set goals and be ambitious, but be thankful for what you have. Because it's better than most of the world. So.
No, for sure. And also there are like different personality types or different types of needs. Some people will just never get that itch to build something of their own. But like you, if you are using it to leverage and catapult your way into something else, then I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, no, I think just the biggest thing I see, I'm sure you saw, like my bosses and my boss's bosses, and Brian Lubin says this all the time, it's just not the life I want. Like they are very busy, very prone to, if the client emails you at 11:30 p.m., you better respond by midnight. Like it's a little yeah, it's not for me. It's not what I want. So again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like picking your head up. Hey,
Yeah.
where am I? Like, what am I doing right now in life? And like, why am I doing that? Or who taught me that I should be doing this? Asking those questions is really how you get to like, what do I, as a person, want out of life, professionally, personally, and obviously the two mix. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Which brings me to some of the things that I feel, I sense that you want, which is ripping European cigarettes.
Yeah.
Right?
Big time.
Yeah, bro. Like what brought you to like your eye and your focus to like Spain?
Yeah. So like I said, and why I'm in Miami, I grew up in Long Island, New York, and I go to sleepaway camp as a kid, like for 6 weeks.
Mhm.
And it was an international camp in like Connecticut. These people from all around the world came. It was cool. So you got to meet these kids, and I made good friends with these kids from Madrid, like 10, 12 years old at most. And like we're playing soccer, we're getting along, we're just being like idiot 10 to 12-year-olds. And I'm like, these guys are really cool. And they get me into soccer, they get me into Ronaldo, into Real Madrid. And it was time to work at the camp. I was now like 14 years old. It was time to, hey, you're going to be a counselor in training. Like, fuck this. I don't want to be a counselor in training at a camp in Connecticut. I want to go visit my friends in Spain. And so I was like, okay, my parents are lawyers. So I was like, all right, I got to out-lawyer them. So I made up a case like, I want to go to Spain for the summer. Here's this language camp. So I did a language immersion camp in Madrid for 2 months. And I was like, it's the same cost as the camp that you're sending me to in Connecticut. Like, here's why I should go. There's counselors, there's activities, there's language immersion. I like Spanish. I like these kids. I can go hang out with them. Boom, send me. And at 14 years old, I flew alone to Madrid and just ripped those language camps. It was an hour of class. And then if your parents rode off, which I got them to, you could go into the city alone. So it was like back by midnight. So I was in like Seoul at 14 with braces and a Justin Bieber haircut saying like, yeah, tequila por favor.
Dude, you getting all the kebab at night, bro?
Yeah,
Watching the sunrise.
That's the love for Spain. So I grew up doing that for like 14 to 17 years old and made a lot of friends, and a lot of great memories in Spain growing up. So there's
and your Spanish is really good. People that haven't heard it yet, but it's really good.
Yeah. I'm white as snow. Parents are Irish and Polish, but me encanta hablar. I love to speak.
Yeah, brother. Haden, I took him to, so one of my friends, he owns an authentic tapas bar in Salamanca right here in Madrid. And I took him there and bro just like plugged in, just started ordering things. Like it was great seeing that.
I love it, man. I love the culture over there too. Like, and you can speak to this moving there like a little under a year ago, but everything's a lot more, I guess, relaxed. Madrid still has that city American hustle feel, which I like, but it's at a Spanish pace. So I don't know. I just, when things like speak to you or you get feelings, you got to go with them in life. And Madrid, building something on my own, that speaks to me. So
yeah,
I would advise everyone listening to do that. Ask yourself what speaks to you.
Yeah, you know, that's a thread worth pulling on because like you and I, we've at your age, I also moved a bunch throughout the United States. I moved from DC to Denver and then Denver to Hawaii. And it's for the same reasons you were listing. Like, I think there's something very powerful of first identifying your personality. Like, what are the traits that like bring out the color in your life? And then trying to find matching cities with that personality, right? So like when I was 23, 24, I moved to Denver because of like, I was super adventurous. I was doing CrossFit at the time and it happened to be 2020. So I didn't really get to see like all of it, but I had 2 months of normalcy and it was crazy how you connect with people automatically. And like, I think that's so important to find cities that line up with you personality wise. And then also like, not just you right now, but who you want to be, right? Exactly. And match up that way as well. So I think you said it best. Madrid has some of that like New York kind of hustle, like within the Spanish context, but a lot of kids here are entrepreneurs, at least the kids I met,
Yeah.
they're killers, and they want more. So
Yeah, no, I honestly truly hope to join you over there soon.
yeah, bro.
My lease is ending in a few weeks, but I think I'm gonna renew some more time in Miami. But agree, yeah, like chose Miami because I speak some Spanish. I love the beach. I love the warm weather, and I still want some business. So I
Yeah.
renegotiated my offer from Atlanta to Miami, and here we are. I haven't looked back. It's been a great experience. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And so, if there's anything that you've learned, I mean, you've definitely learned language acquisition, you learned how to be a little bit flexible, but what is something else that, like a travel story that you could think of that kind of resonate, maybe like a more recent one?
Yeah, yeah. Travel story. I mean, the backpacking in Europe, along with like moving out of your hometown, I think is important. I think traveling alone is important. So last summer during my gap year, like I said, I worked, I studied for the CPA, and then I decided to pick up a backpack and go to Europe for 3 months with actually my business partner at Modcom. So his name's Lake. He's Southern. So his name is literally Lake, like the body of water. Me and Lake flew one way to Athens in July of 2023 and just like no plan. So we went all around. We went to like Mykonos and Santorini and worked our way all the way back west. But like a 3-month trip like that, the people you meet, the memories you have, like that's money well spent. I mean, so I would recommend to everyone to at least backpack for a month or two, wherever you want, Asia, Europe, Middle East, even, if you're feeling adventurous, Americas. What travel have you done outside of Europe, if any? I have.
Outside of Europe, well, I've seen a lot of the States.
That's something I need to do more.
So I was born in Bolivia, South America,
Yeah.
but I've only like been coming back and forth to like Bolivia and like Brazil, where my parents went to college in Brazil. So I saw those with them. But by myself, as an adult, I went to the Patagonia, like in Chile, like down south, Argentina. Yeah, I saw a lot of South America, Colombia, Panama. What's it called? Oh, I recently went to the Dominican Republic, bro. You know what? We need to rip some of these countries closer to the US. We have to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's my plan with Miami.
Yeah.
But wait, to bring it actually back to business, I wanted to ask you a little more about like what you're doing currently with like the AI automation. Like, how's that been? How long have you been doing that? And then, like, in terms of actual like services, what do you provide? What do you automate?
Yeah, so it's been 2 years, and the term when it first like really started, it was like remote integration or remote integration specialist, but really it's like what a systems engineer would do, or like I'm basically like a COO. I look at your business from like a high level and look at the systems you have and trying to optimize it.
Mm-hmm.
But with Leah Motley, I did his AI automation accelerator, and he really blew up the term AI automation last few years.
Nice.
But the main AI I use is Claude and ChatGPT. Like, I don't really use AI. What I really do use is Make.com and Zapier and just basically these API like connectors, right?
Okay, gotcha.
And so the services I mainly do is like I look at your lead automation, basically everything from prospecting all the way through fulfillment. I look at these business silos and I'm like, all right, where are the holes? Where's the energy leaks, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, basically plug those up. Mainly right now, it's a lot of like lead gen, and so I've been tempted to just rebrand it as a lead gen agency, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, interesting. Just because like I said at Modcom, we're very new. I only bought in like 7 months ago, but the company itself is only 2 years. And so we're in that growth phase of like prospecting a lot, cold outreach a lot, just trying to get our name out there and then highlighting the customer testimonials to just establish a brand. But we could definitely have a lot automated. So I'm curious more to learn of like, on a separate call, like what you do specifically to help like the whole business cycle. It sounds like you have a lot.
Yeah, bro. I just sent you a contract just now. I'm just kidding.
Perfect. Show me.
Got to be quick. Yeah, no, bro. I'm happy to look into it. You know what's really cool though is I didn't expect this, but like you with consulting, like you just start when you start talking and meet, especially with M&A, what you're in, like you start noticing all these, like you become like a de facto glue guy. You start knowing people with these deficiencies, and you know these people with abilities, and you start like connecting them with each other.
Yeah.
And I'm meeting so many people now with like businesses, and like for instance, there's a guy that I actually hope to get on this podcast soon, but he started a community here in Madrid. He's been in Madrid for 8 years, blew up. The Guiris de Mierda guy.
Yeah. No, I follow him. Tom, right?
Yeah, Tom, dude, he's an absolute G. And he this is a legitimate business. He has events with like over 150 people, like charging like 20 euros each, and like getting contracts with venues, and like it's legit. And so and it's really in its infancy right now. It's really popping off. But there's so many like business styles that show up over and over and again, whether it's like something like that, or whether it's I work with a PR agency, all these types of things. I think that one of the beautiful things about like studying business is that it cuts through all these different industries. So just learning the skill as a high level, you can work at whatever you want. So
yeah, I was exactly going to tie it to that. Like studying accounting and finance as a double major wasn't the easiest, obviously, but it was so worth it to see on a fundamental level, each business has a lot of similarities. And then to be in M&A too is like understand what matters to investors and the important people that, you know, give us the thing we all want, money. So important. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's an interesting time. I think I'm at that point where I want to make the jump, but it's not quite at the salary I need it to be. So it's kind of just a wait and see game. But patience is a virtue. So anyone that's out there building something, just hold on, you know, keep going.
100%. And Brian Lubin, who you mentioned, and I consumed a lot of his content. I actually just read his book earlier this year. What was it? From passive to passionate.
Yeah.
So he was actually in Pamplona at the same time as me. Like there's a lot of like synchronicities. I really want to join his Action Academy soon. But one of the things he mentions is just what you said, is like when things start getting boring, that is when it's most tempting to like go for something else, shiny object syndrome. But boring is just like another way, like just rebrand boring to mastery, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When you started playing sports or whatever, at first you didn't know what you were doing, and then you started analyzing everything, and then it just, you weren't even thinking about it, you're just playing.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what mastery looks like. Like you should just put your head down a little bit and just like squeeze as much juice as you can out of it, and then just maybe then consider something else. But
yeah, no, it's day in, day out. And yeah, no, not every day looks glorious. Obviously, I was super excited, you know, to get the documents. Like, okay, I own a third of this company now. Let's go. This is what I wanted. And then the work only just begins from there, obviously. 7-8 months later, we've had our good months. We've had our bad months. We've brought on people. But, like, it takes time, I think, is the biggest thing. I think you get that as you grow up, too. I'm not sure, like, your demographics of the podcast. I'm sure it's, like, 20 to 30-year-old, like mostly guys. So I don't know if you guys feel this, but it's like the relativity of time and growing up, as in like I take a longer term view of things as I'm getting older. Like, okay, I know this is going to take years, not months. Like you just have to be realistic and understand there's no such thing as overnight success.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is a big ego killer for a lot of people, particularly academics, dude. The academic types where they are used to like the semester type feel of like, all right, I need to see results now. And if it's not like 80% or better, then I failed, I need to quit. Like it's a completely different mindset. And mostly like because in school, you get the lessons and then you get the tests. But in life, you get the tests and then you derive the lessons from those tests. It's like completely inverse.
Got to be a life by design. Yeah, as you said, pick your head up and ask what's important. I guess a fun question I have is last, like, would you live anywhere else other than Madrid or the US? Like, where do you have in mind for future? Just got to Spain, so I don't know.
I mean, flights to Moscow are really cheap right now. I don't know why, but
it's a good city, girls and vodka.
Yeah, bro. Gosh, bro. I think I told you already, but my best friends growing up, they're Russian, like Russian families, and I speak a little bit of Russian, and just like the people, the culture would be amazing. But no, dude, like you, I'm starting to think more long term.
Mm-hmm.
I was nomadic these past 4 years, and it's been great. I think I needed to get it out of my system for sure. Went to Bali, I did a lot of stuff, but I'm definitely more into investing in the same people in the same community.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that in mind, I've been summering in Spain since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so I've built some like 10+ year friendships here, and the language is like Spanish is my first language. And I just see a lot of like my family in strangers too, which is like I see like people walking around that look like my family, and the food, the culture, the music, like it's all very familiar. So I see myself staying here for a long, long, long time. So
yeah, I remember you put that on your story a few days ago, actually, of reinvesting into the same people. I agree. Yeah. I have some more actually like nomad things I want to do, obviously, but I think like as you think longer term, it's like, okay, where do I want to put down roots? Spain, we're both biased, but it's a great place. But yeah, I think it's important again, the travel aspect, like get out of your hometown and wherever's speaking to you, like whatever brings out your personality, go after, because
exactly,
no do-overs. Yeah,
and it's like it's a different rate for everyone. Like it's not like you don't want to compare yourself. Obviously, I'm older than you, but like at your age, I wasn't thinking about settling down at all, really. Even though I was engaged, I probably shouldn't. Like I did have that itch, right? Which is really important to be honest with yourself, because then you end up resenting your partner, your kids, just other people. But yeah, I think it's really important to get that shit out of your system in a healthy way.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm looking to do some more of that nomad. My girlfriend wants to go to Australia. I'm trying to go to Spain. We got a lot on the list.
Dude, I see you thriving as an Aussie, bro.
Yeah, yeah. But then they don't speak Spanish, so you know.
Yeah. But yeah, bro. No, it's been great seeing like the like-mindedness people just show out, like just being authentic online, and it just makes you like a telephone pole of people. Like people either extremely hate you or they really like you. So connecting with you, and it's been great.
Exactly. No, it's been great. I'm interested in that too. Like to start, maybe try to post or something. Like it just feels like you're saying, like it's like putting out. It's like being a watchtower, like on the harbor. Like you're just putting out a light. This is who I am. This is what I do. You're able to bring in a lot of good people to the podcast, to the business, to just personal like-mindedness. So it's been great, Matteo. It's been like a few months, but I know we're gonna stay in touch.
Well, is leveraging social media like something on your radar, maybe for ModCom, maybe for your personal like branding efforts?
More personal branding efforts, and ModCom, but more bring it with a personality. Yeah. And you know, I am a partner in ModCom, like versus a ModCom social media, but I don't know. It just all seems like low risk, high reward. The only low risk is like getting called a fag by your friends. But, you know,
look up, bro really made it real.
Exactly. Like getting some shit from your friends seems kind of worth it to me. So I don't know. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll try to reclip this recording and do a launch.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'll send it to you. And just being on podcast builds authority. Also, like we would cross-pollinate audiences. I think podcasting is really low-hanging fruit as well. Like full disclosure, this is Google Meet. I should be using Riverside, but I'm more about action, right? So I'm just gonna rip it. But dude, it's really low-hanging fruit. Like you said, low risk, high reward. And it's honestly podcasting, particularly if you make it like a business focused, like niche podcast, it's free mentorship. My last episode was with this guy who makes like multi-millions a month on e-com, and he just gave me an hour of his time, which is fucking insane.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, personal branding wise, if people, certain like business owners or people of like consequence start following you, and you want to connect with someone, and they see, oh, so and so follows Haden, they will answer your DMs, right? So it makes outreach super easy.
No, exactly. Yeah, honestly, it's really something I need to like consider and just kind of pull the trigger on. So stay tuned. This is my this is my public outing. I'll look into it. I have to.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. Good stuff. But yeah, like going back, like for instance, I hired an SMMA last year. So it's a social media marketing agency, and it's because I wanted to like build my audience and like connect with people and actually monetize my online presence. Because like we were talking earlier, I don't really connect with the just posting lifestyle and like my breakfast and stuff like that. I don't feel like it's a value add. It probably would be if I was a girl. I'm just gonna be transparent, right?
Who said you didn't have a good chest?
Dude, I'm working on my chest right now, but it's
you in the gym.
Yeah, bro. But I mean, I get it. I'm a dude, so the type of value add that's expected from me is different, and that's not a complaint. It's just what it is. Mm-hmm. So that's why this podcast, it started off as just like shooting the shit like most podcasts do. And then I realized, hey, I'm half of the podcast and even I don't want to listen to this. Right. So like, I made it more like business niched. And I think the same thing is what I'm trying to do with my page. It's a SMMA guys. They told me, hey, just focus on a niche and like grow from that. And if you do have lifestyle stuff, show it as a consequence of your business. Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm in Madrid, but it's because I have a remote business. Oh, yeah, I did this with this person, but he's a business owner. Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Bringing it back to the next action step of like a viewer. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think like you said, bro, I think if you speak well, you have a really interesting pedigree. And you're already doing the difficult thing, which is traveling. Right.
Right.
People pay like I really don't want to mention her too much because she might think I'm interested. I'm just kidding. But my ex, she's an influencer, right? Yeah. And so one of the things that she like cemented in my mind, I was like, how are they paying you so much? Like, what's going on? She's like, listen, I'm the model, I'm the video editor, I'm the like creative director, and I'm physically in these shooting locations. Like I'm doing a 10-person's job at once.
True.
Like you're doing a lot of these jobs at once, bro. Like you're going out there, you have all the knowledge, like just capitalize on that.
Yeah, no, like it's again low risk, high reward. Like it costs barely anything to get a mic, a camera, and just kind of start talking, not for the intention of like, attracting 1 million people, but attracting the right people, picking a niche, like first time small business ownership or, like ex-management consultant off to something on their own. Yeah. Like that's definitely agreed. And I have to explore for myself. So I appreciate the push, Mateo.
Of course. Hayden, you actually just reminded me of something with you just said. Like I know a lot of people, for instance, with like over like 20K follower dudes, this is strictly dudes right now, with over like 20K followers, and they're brokies, right? Mm-hmm. And then I have friends who, like multiple who have like 1K or like 800 followers, but they're like making over 10K a month. That's because it's like hyper focused followers, right? They're engaged followers. They're all at leads. All those followers are leads.
Right. Yeah. Not to knock like I live in Miami, so I see the Forex guys in the Lambo for the day shooting 5 different videos in 10 different outfits. Like,
yeah.
But I think it is good to try to narrow in on something. And the only way you're able to narrow in something and do it well, I think, is to get experience first, which is why like going to college and having a corporate job for a few years, like, is not bad at all. And the internet definitely nowadays in our niche sometimes like makes it seem like that's, you're going to the gulag.
They vilify it.
So it's not a bad option. But agreed, just pick up a mic and camera and just start talking, and who gives a fuck what anyone else thinks.
Totally.
So yeah.
In the interim, if anyone's interested in like your like telecommunications solutions, is there like a place they can find that, or maybe they can find your personal brand, your page?
Yeah, I mean, personal Instagram I'd say is good. Haden Haden .Levine Levine. Modcom, if you're interested, www.modcom.group. I'm excited to be in this space and keep killing it, Mateo. I appreciate it, man.
Nice stuff, Hayden. Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Venga, hermano. Hasta la próxima.
Hasta luego, tío.
Venga.